Welcome to the next episode of the For the Love of Theatre podcast, which aims to bring the South Australian community theatre scene to you. My name is Annabel Whitford and I will be your host.
Why, there's a wench. Come on and kiss me, Kate.
The intention of this podcast is to celebrate our quality community theatre productions, their creatives, and create a further sense of connection between all the theatre groups, their audiences, and you, our listeners. We hope that in future episodes we will cover other companies, their productions, and have more guest hosts. If this sounds like something you'd want to be a part of, let us know. Email fortheloveoftheatrePodcast@gmail.com. As always, we like to start with a creative quote, and this one comes from Shakespeare himself. The object of art is to give life a shape. This is Adelaide University Theatre Guild's first production for 2026 and our first as the newly renamed Adelaide University Theatre Guild. This is Taming of the Shrew, and tickets are available from trybooking.com/DKFLB. This first production of 2026 began life as another Shakespeare comedy, The Merry Wives of Windsor, directed by Mark Wickett. In fact, the show was the real Merry Wives of Windsor Gardens. However, an unexpected turn happened, and we emerged anew as The Taming of the Shrew. We extend our sincere thanks to the original Merry Wives production team, especially director Mark Wickett. That early vision, the groundwork, and the commitment laid the foundation for what followed. The efforts were far from lost, or instead they became the stepping stones for a production that, while different in title, carries that same spirit. And included amongst that is an excellent cast, and we'll hear from two of them in a moment. And we will hear from former cast member of Merry Wives turned director of Taming of the Shrew a little later in this podcast. But to begin with, we're going to hear from what you'll find is a very resourceful woman, our costume person.
Sue Cayzer, and I'm doing costumes for Taming of the Shrew.
Hello, Sue. You came to this project back when we were doing the other Shakespeare comedy, Merry Wives of Windsor, and you decided to stay with us. But how did this project come to your attention in the first place?
I was actually at a 50th birthday and speaking to Lily, who was doing was going to be the stage manager of the previous show.
Yes.
And talking to her mother. And it's always been a passion of mine, costumes and what have you, but I haven't ever done it in any sort of official capacity outside my workplace, which is the Adelaide Costume Shop. So, and initially I thought I was doing medieval, which we have a lot of medieval stock at work. And then it changed and then changed again. So it's we've just adapted. So yes, I'm just making it up as I go. But I'm a resourceful girl, so
yes,
yeah, hopefully
very adaptable.
That's right. So yes, I'm not really. I'd love to think I could be a costumer, but just a resourceful costume lady.
I remember it was Lily who recommended you.
Yes, it was lovely to have the opportunity, and it's really been great to meet all the cast members, and it's been fun.
Oh, good. You've touched on your work. Can you give us a little bit more on your background and how you became interested in costumes and things like that?
I think when I look back, we've probably always done a lot of dressing up in our family, and I had quite a bit of experience sourcing a lot of costumes for Year 5 productions. We had a great drama teacher at Rose Park Primary School where our children went, and they used to do productions there, so I'd get about town and resource a lot of stuff. There was obviously a lot of people that have good dress-up boxes and what have you, and other families that really don't have much at all. So because it's a passion, and I hate seeing people not being able to fit in or be part of the crew because they don't have access to those sorts of things. So and then it turned into being really a bit of a serial op shopper. But the good thing is at work, because I work at the Adelaide Costume Shop with a young fellow, Matthew Rossi, He actually took over that business where he'd worked during COVID, so that's a really big step for a young businessman. And working in there gives you a really good idea of what sort of things people are tuned into, and also what I really recognised as a bit of a niche strength of mine was fitting more challenging people with costumes, because obviously it's easy to put on a size 10, 12, 14 costume if it comes in your size, but for a lot of people we have to be very resourceful with 2 or 3 other elements of a costume. And the good thing about the Adelaide Costume Shop is we have a lot of sort of base garments that we can then dress up, and you can do Mario and Luigi with tutus. They don't have to have overalls, and we can get quite creative with that sort of thing. And I love it if we have a customer in there that comes in and really doesn't want to dress up, they don't want to go to the thing. And then in the end they're prancing up and down the aisles in something they've found and really captured their imagination. So I like helping people to realise something that dress-ups is fun. People drop their guard, and it's really good. Yeah.
Have you ever found anything surprising? What's the most surprising thing you've witnessed in that regard?
We had a gentleman one day came in and he wanted to be Batman, and our Batman is a very big latex suit with a great big cape, and I could tell that really wasn't going to suit him, and there's a number of different options, but I bought the whole Batman thing out, and that really made him unhappy and very upset. But unfortunately, when people have something in their mind, if you don't sort of pursue that first, they can't then widen their horizons. Anyway, he ended up leaving in a gold lame suit with a waistcoat, jabot, frilly cuffs, shoe buckles, and it just warmed the cockles of my heart. The other day we had a guy come in and he just needed a touch of sequins. He was after some sequin suspenders, and in the end he left in a sequin shirt, a sequin bow tie, a sequin jacket with fringing, and then put on a beautiful sequined hat that he added that last piece himself. So started off just really wanting to go low key and then just going all out. So yeah, it's good to see people try on new things, and I really enjoyed fitting people and finding clothing that I can see that they feel comfortable in.
Excellent. So how creative have you been with this particular production?
Yeah, well, it's been a bit sort of make it up as we go. It's lovely meeting the cast, and a lot of them have their own personal style, and because of how Olivia's set this, it's quite contemporary, band, bit of rock and roll. So we've been able to use items of their own clothing. We've been able to find 2 or 3 key pieces, and we're obviously looking at the music industry, which people generally have quite a bit of swagger and style in that industry anyway. They have, the artists have their own looks. So we've got quite a few main or key elements in place, but lots more accessorising, and it is important just to get a few of those key pieces fitting, and then we can embellish from there. So what I've enjoyed most of all is meeting all the cast. Their different personalities, and looking at where they're comfortable, making sure they're comfortable, and obviously also what they're wearing. They have to be able to perform their role in the outfit. It's no good having a fabulous outfit if you've got to crawl across the stage and your pants are too tight, or you've got other sort of physical challenges too. So it's coming together. It's coming together well.
And I think the music setting is an interesting one, especially paired with Shakespeare. So what was the brief that Olivia gave you? Was it, it's music, and she then let you get on with it? Or was it a collaborative thing of, we need sparkles, we need sequins, and then we need some lower tone pieces as well?
Yeah, well, look, life's too short not to wear sequins. So I like to sort of go there and then bring it back. And really, a lot of these pieces I've been collecting for years, and it's just really nice to have an opportunity for them to be realised on a stage. And there's a lot of resourceful. For example, a sequin coat that John is wearing is actually a lady's sequin dress, which I adapted because when I go out looking for items, the sparkles and the sequins and the colour really draw my eye, and it's been interesting to watch. Obviously, the challenge with this is too, a lot of music industry people wear a lot of black, a lot of leather, a lot of black, a lot of fringing, a lot of studding, that sort of thing. But because of our black backdrop, we've kind of gone for a lot of pops of colour and a lot of primary colours. So that's made it a bit of fun too. And our white boy band group and Bardo group. So, and also a lot of the music industry people, there's a lot of flesh. And that's not something that some people are comfortable with, in their roles. So it's a matter of just taking elements of those looks and finding something that people are looking comfortable in. Yeah. So Olivia's been great. We're working hand in hand, and the vision marinates and matures as we're going along. So yeah, and we try a look with someone, and if it doesn't, if you can tell that they're not that it's not grabbing them, we can go off in another direction. Yeah.
So do you have a favourite costume so far on this?
Probably, it's good to see the Prince jacket getting an airing on Ben. There's something about satin, high neck satin, and Prince's. Some of those pop culture icons have such key looks, and so it's good to see a few things like that filter through. Obviously, the boy band thing with the sort of baggy pants and a lot of white, and that'll look good when we get them all together. Hopefully, we'll embellish their outfits a bit. We've had, it's challenging. Some of the casts are very tall, and then others have other challenges or opportunities. Yeah, that's right. And actually, that's one thing I've really that's really great, not concern to me, but something I really make sure that I've spent a lot of time doing at work. A lot of outfits fit people without breasts or without hips, and it's important to me to find clothing that's adaptable for all shapes and sizes. And it's quite challenging for shorter people to find outfits that look great. So sometimes you can do a lot more with their shoulders and their shape. So we all, does take a bit to dress people to their assets, and make sure that they also look the part and the character as well. Yeah.
This is your first time working with us. Have you worked with any of the other community theatre companies in Adelaide?
No. So the only exposure I've had to local theatre or community theatre has been people coming in to work. So as into the Adelaide Costume Shop. So I know, some of our other staff members have done a bit of work in that regard, but what is interesting is seeing how that commercial aspect or hiring or buying things, something that I've really focused on is really recycling a lot of things and resourcing other collections around Adelaide. And look, whilst there's a place and life's changed for Temu and Shein and what have you, I really haven't gone there, and that's not sort of a direction that also with the time frame too, it's not something that I'm keen to do a lot of ordering online. It's something I've really avoided, and it's a lot of the young people, it's really cost effective to do that, but there's an enormous amount of clothing and costuming out there that's the op shops, the Salvos and Vinnies and these guys really do a magnificent job of displaying their wares, and luckily, as I say, I've been at this for some time. So no, community, this is my first rodeo. It's the absolute first for me, and it's been a really good learning process to see that, because like everything, you can find the look, but it may not be in the size, or you find something that's appropriate in the size, but it really doesn't have the styling. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to embellishing a bit of this gear, so that we get a bit of a look going through the production.
Are you enjoying the challenge?
Yes. Well, it's I don't know that it really does. It's really been a bit of an eye-opener for costumers that work on big productions like Outlander or medieval Viking shows or what have you. My mind boggles at how much work would go into all of that. We've got 15 or 17 cast, and that's enough for the time allotted, but some of those big shows, there'd be a full team, obviously. Yeah.
And they'd have the money.
That's right. Budgets, a big budget would make things a whole lot easier, but I'm used to really working with, well, not from scratch, but yes, as I say, one of my main assets is being resourceful.
Yeah, that resourcefulness is really coming in handy, and hopefully this is your first of many.
Yeah, we'll see.
Just with us, though. No. So I mentioned community theatre, and this is something I ask everybody I interview for this podcast. You might have a different perspective on this, actually, but why is community theatre so important in Adelaide?
Oh, look, it's so important. The arts are just so important at every level. And specifically, I mentioned, I go to great lengths at work to help any drama teachers or any teachers working in that area, because you just know that they're not getting paid to do the hours that they're having to put in. And it's so important for young people to get the opportunity. And then even it's really wonderful to see cast members in different professions around Adelaide that come together in a production, and it's the camaraderie, and it's something that you share together and build together, and it's exhausting, and it's there's nerves involved, and really people have to put themselves out there, and it's so easy for people to be critical, but wow, it's incredible to see a production come together. And without funding and without community theatre, you just don't have that groundswell of artistic expression, and it's really, really important.
That's a fantastic answer.
And I think we're really incredibly lucky to have this space and spaces like this. And it's really important to continue to source funding and keep these areas well maintained and in use. And I think it's really interesting to have a bit of an understanding of how the guild operates, and keeping across the administrative side of that too, with insurances and being able to operate. So that sort of fundraising and that sort of aspect. Without all the people that have gone before us to sit on these boards and committees and what have you, and set up these structures, you just wouldn't be in a position to do these sorts of productions. So we're really lucky that Adelaide values the arts, and South Australia values the arts, and especially schools keep young, fresh talent coming through. And I think South Australia bats above its weight pretty well in a lot of these areas, and we're very, very lucky. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sue. It's been lovely to chat to you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Under the lights I feel the glow. You're putting me under. Don't wanna be here on my own.
Hi, I'm Heather Crawford. I'm playing Katherine.
I'm Tom Tassone and I'm playing Petruchio.
Welcome. We know you were cast in another show to begin with. If it's not too personal a question, but what made you stay with this production? You wanted to carry on, you wanted to do a show, you already had the time booked, obviously, but was it an easy decision?
For me, absolutely was an easy decision. I'd already carved out this time to do Shakespeare. It has been some years since I have done Shakespeare, and to have Olivia directing. She directed me last year in Revlon Girl for St. Jude's and really enjoyed that. Had a wonderful experience, she had a vision, very collaborative, very easygoing rehearsal space, a safe rehearsal space. So yeah, there was no question, no doubt. And also just, there were a lot of people that I had worked with and wanted to work with as well. It seemed like a really great group of people as well, and really enthusiastic group. So I still wanted to be a part of that.
Oh, good. Was it the same for you, Tom?
So I think people that know me know that I'm very much somebody who likes to keep busy in the theatre world. So on the one hand, it was, I had the time booked out, so it was nice to have something very quickly and easily come and fill it. But I didn't really know that many people that well coming into this one. I knew a handful, and I hadn't necessarily worked directly with the handful that I did know. One or two I think I have, but something I really like is working with new people, getting to know new people. You kind of learn from people that you don't know when you work with them. So I think a mix of that, wanting to do another Shakespeare, I do one every couple of years if I can, just because it's always a bit of fun. And yeah, the part that I was offered as well, Petruchio, is a nice meaty one. It's got a bit of complexity to it, so something to really dig my hooks into has been quite nice actually.
So have you two worked together before?
No.
Was it love at first sight? I mean, did you get along straight away? Because from what little I've seen, you guys work very well together.
Oh, thank you. So I came and saw the Watsons last year, which Tom was in. So I saw him perform in that, and then saw him again in Promenade, where then was actually properly introduced. And yeah, I mean, easy to talk utter rubbish. Tom.
I will always yes and.
So really easy to, I don't know, cool vibe, cool, easy, No, not a diva, not yet.
Not yet, no.
Not yet.
We just sort of got along pretty quickly. Always nice to meet somebody that will yes and to the degree that you will go off on any tangent. So, yeah.
Okay, so tell me about your characters. I mean, some people may be familiar with them, whether it's through Shakespeare or if it's through, say, Kiss Me Kate or something like that.
Catherine, she knows her own mind, and she is not there to please anyone. And I think, you obviously want to give her a bit more depth other than just being an angry woman. I think maybe, as far as, for me, she's been let down before, she's grown up to be very, cynical and bitter with certain respects to, as far as her relationship with her mother in this, played by the wonderful Deb Walsh, and also, obviously, the relationship with Bianca, played by Jess Merrick. Bringing in some of that, other spiciness, just to give it a bit more depth, rather than just being, Katherine is mean, and she's a shrew, and she just yells, and she's angry. I mean, she is those things, but there are reasons for being those things. So then someone like Petruchio coming in and sort of very much appreciating that, but also obviously seeing something more than what everybody else sees, rather than the complete front that she's always displaying to everybody. If that makes any sense.
I think it does.
It will in editing.
Well, let's have Petruchio come in and you tell us about your character.
Yes, well, one of the first things I'll say is one of the things that we've kind of done, just generally, I think, roughly directed to, but also something I normally do anyway, is look at how other characters talk about your character, look at what they say when you're not on the stage. It tells you a bit about what that character's like. So I have gone through, the vast majority of it is just people saying he's mad. So he is absolutely eccentric. I think he's a bit off the beaten path, beats to his own drum. I think similarly to Katherine, he can very easily be played very two-dimensional, very stereotypically as just a misogynist that wants a subservient, obedient wife. But I think similarly, I don't want to play him just like that. I want a bit of depth to him, a bit of character. I think he is a man that likes to be challenged. He doesn't want somebody that will just, sit down and do as he says. He is looking for somebody with that fire of life in them. And so I think he's not so concerned with everybody liking him, everybody agreeing with him necessarily, but he does want a partner that will challenge him and that will stand up to him at times, and that, that he can have a bit of banter with from time to time, and they can joke and jest at each other, and at the end of the day, they might go to bed a little grumpy at each other once or twice, but, they both had fun and they both know where they stand, and they both know that if the other does something they don't like, they'll be able to stand up for themselves and say something.
So you touched on some of those themes that might be a little problematic in today's world, under today's lens. So has some of that been removed, or have you worked around it somehow?
We're sort of working on it a little bit differently. Being rehearsals, we are working on it. And it's a nice challenge as well. And I mean, it's nice to give it some other undertones. Yes, try to remove it from being a complete, problematic, horrible Stockholm syndrome situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite exchange or?
Oh, well, I mean, my favourite bit is obviously the first scene with Petruchio and Katherine when they're meeting for the first time. So this is just like the, clash of exact, equals, really.
Yeah.
It's a very, I don't know, it's a beautiful...
clashing of wits.
Coming
together.
Yeah, this is it,
Yeah. There's one, it's kind of like a boxing match. One gets one hitting and the other gets back. The line that sprung to my mind was, "What with my tongue in your tail?" It's always a fun one.
All right, go to it. Action.
I believe it's "Good day, Kate, for that's your name I hear." It's the first impression Petruchio gives.
I'm just screwing completely.
I believe it's "You lie in faith."
That's you!
No, that's you. You lie in faith. You call me Katherina that do know of me.
Oh God, I'm so sorry, everybody.
You can fact check me on my first line.
That's yours.
Oh,
You're saying
that is
your
my
next
first
line. You're not saying my line.
Oh, no, you say that.
I say, well, have you heard that something hard of hearing?
That's right.
Want to go from the top?
That's my first line again. Oh no, that's it. Good morrow,
Yeah,
Kate,
you're
for
right.
that's your name I hear. Excellent. Good morrow, Kate, for that's your name I hear.
Well, have you heard but something hard of hearing? They call me Katherina, that do talk of me.
You lie in faith, for you are called plain Kate. And then it goes on for quite some time.
I thought there was a spark. I thought you shared the same beat as my beating heart. But now you're lying, you're denying, saying we were nothing from the start. And when you caught my eyes in the hole, you pretended you didn't know me at all. I'm not buying what you're trying. Do you take me for a fool? Do you take me for a fool? You take me for a fool. You take me for a fool. You take me for a fool. You don't get this power over me. Only kiss me 'cause you felt sorry. You keep telling yourself what you wanna hear. I know you're running from your fear. Keep this a secret, don't tell a soul. Let's get that all together, it'd be better if was a spark.
You guys do not play instruments, is that correct?
Well, I don't.
Well, not in the show anyway.
No, I don't. I tried playing violin, but I'm bad at it. So that
Do you sing in this?
I don't, but I can sing, but I don't sing in this. So that's not helpful at all.
I think Jess gets to sing. Cause
Jess
she,
gets to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your sister gets to sing, but not you.
Yeah, that's right.
You talked a bit about, the community spirit and all that, and I think that's been exhibited in this whole enterprise. So why is community theatre so important in Adelaide?
I think that it really is. I mean, I've worked with a few different companies now, and I think the consistent thing is there's always this togetherness, there's always this positive spirit. You're always building something together, not just for yourself. It's not this selfish thing, it's this truly collaborative thing, and you're building towards something that you can share with the community. And I think it does give another level of experience and another facet of entertainment for the people in Adelaide to experience live theatre. That's not, yes, the professional productions are good, but they can be expensive, and that's not something that everybody can necessarily afford. And I don't think that money should be a barrier to entry to live entertainment, because we've had this for hundreds of years, probably thousands. Don't fact check me on any of that. Probably more than thousands even. But I think it is just people getting together, doing something they love, and showing the community what they've built, what they've put together. And I think there's something beautiful in that.
Fantastic.
100%. Yeah, there's something really wonderful with the same goal, and everybody working towards it, and everybody putting in their own expertise. And I really enjoy those instances where it's a lot more collaborative and everybody feels heard. Even when they've got ideas, like everybody just holds space for that.
That's going in.
I think you meant to say it's a safe space to try things out.
That sounds much better. Oh, there you go. I'm being too much like my character.
She's in character, folks.
Yeah. No, I think everybody, and particularly again in this instance, and I've been very fortunate. Generally, throughout the long time I've been doing theatre in Adelaide, each. Well, we were talking about it before, actually. Like theatre is here in the now, and then once it's done, it's just into the universe, it's into the ether, and that's that. Which is kind of special that they have these moments in time for us, and that we can share all these, good times, good feelings, good ideas. And
good vibes. That's excellent. Thank you.
The energy in the rehearsal room is anything to go by. I think it'll be a really, really good show and a lot of fun to come and see.
Agreed.
I'm looking forward to it.
I am also looking forward to it. I think, it will be great fun.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
100, 1,000, 1 million. 100, 1,000, 1 million. 100 stolen moments in English class. I'd look up, we'd glance for just a second, but it felt like years. And we were young then and we were scared, never dared to share. I swear my heart was weighed down by fear. Back when nothing was clear. And I know I'm not the same person I was back then. I've grown up since then. But that hasn't made the words less hurtful. My skin still burns, though the heat's unlearned. I was confused. I didn't know what I felt. I'd barely met myself, and it was all new. Now I watch as dust settles onto the shelf. They say hindsight is 20/20, but I still don't know a goddamn thing. And I try plenty, but I won't ever know what the future brings. 1,000, 1 million. 100, 1,000, 1 million. 1,798 days going separate secret ways till I called it on a Tuesday night. Bet you built mansions and streets of my mind. Now I can't leave you behind. It doesn't feel right. We grew up side by side, and I know I shouldn't dwell on the things that I can't control or so I'm told. But your absence has me questioning each choice I've made. Lists of mistakes. Must all things end? Must we win less than we lose? I miss being friends. Guess what's for the best can bruise.
Now I'm talking to Olivia Jane Parker, and this is a bit unusual because this time she is on the other side of the mic. And of course, you all know Olivia as the creator of this podcast, and now she's the one who gets to be interviewed.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. I'm not really comfortable on this side.
Bit of a change, isn't it?
It is, but a good one.
It is a good change. And speaking of change, we know that this show has changed from what was originally going to be in this slot. I'm interested in your thought processes, why it was important for you to say, look, I have an idea, let's do something.
Okay. I think I was a member of the original cast, and I think seeing how all these wonderful people had come together to put on a production, and my previous history with the Guild was one of the first Adelaide theatre companies that welcomed me on board as a cast member in The Two Gentlemen of Verona. And I just felt that cancelling a show when you still had people that were eager to put on a production, when you had a season that you're considering and what that means to the Guild, I thought I'll take off my cast hat and put on my director's one if there's no one else standing up and offering a more suitable production. I thought, you replace a Shakespeare with a Shakespeare, what productions could you do? And then it was kind of, what was I most interested in visiting or seeing or being a part of, and Taming of the Shrew was the one.
And you did it properly. You submitted a proposal, you had references, you had an idea, a concept, and like you say, replacing Shakespeare with a Shakespeare. We were very fortunate that our first show this year is a Shakespearean comedy. So, of course, you can replace it with a Shakespearean comedy. Easy is not the right word.
No. I think what I was thinking was, from a director's point of view, I always put together a brief. I always try and put together a vision with references in terms of visual, recordings, anything I can kind of pull that might give somebody an understanding of what I envision. And I left the meeting at the Guild, and very quickly, I think it was a turnaround of less than a day, that I put my submission in and just tried to answer any question that I would ask somebody about directing. I have a background in having my own production company, so I'm aware of what submissions look like, what they should involve and entail. And I think sometimes when you're boxed in, when you have framework that is rigid, like I had a time frame, I had the fact that it was Shakespeare, I had the fact that we were using a public domain material, it helped with the framing of what I could do, and knowing the space as intimately as I do, knowing the members of the committee, and having directed here before, like I did with Tiny Beautiful Things, which was such a wonderful experience. I duck and wove where I needed to make it work.
Yes, it was a quick turnaround, and the board did make a quick decision, but it was not a rash decision.
I think it was helpful that I was part of the initial cast, because it kind of meant that the leader was already involved in the original production. I also think it helped that we'd had a read through, because then I was very quickly able to slot people where I thought they would fit. Martin has this glorious voice, and I think most people would cast him as Baptista, and I just thought there's more to Martin than that, and I'd really love to see him do like an eccentric, different version of Gremio. And then you go, okay, so if Martin's playing Gremio, who's playing Baptista? And Deb Walsh. I've worked with Deb before, I love working with her, and this was something that I thought she'd be engaged and interested in. And then you just slowly start
putting all the players in place, and I was very fortunate that majority of the cast is involved. The only actor I've had to recruit is Leah Lowe, who is a wonderful actor and friend who agreed to jump on board.
This is a unique circumstance where you are directing a cast that you did not cast. Fortunately, they're lovely people and very talented, and they're having a lot of fun.
Oh, good.
What's that like when you take on a show? I mean, I know it's part of the consideration. You know, you're directing a show and you're given a cast.
Yeah, so they're not pitching themselves to me, I'm pitching myself to them, is what it felt like. I had a bit of an experience in the UK where there was a director signed on to do sex cells at the Bear Pit by Anna Longaretti, and unfortunately that director had to step aside, and David Mears approached me and said, would you direct it? And I thought, I'm not getting rid of the cast that has been selected. They were chosen, and I think that's really unfair. So I'll meet with them and see if they still want to be a part of it, and if they do, we'll make it work. We'll find our version of this play. And that really put me in a good frame of mind, coming in and going, yeah, I can do this. I've inherited a cast before. And people are very quick to say, yeah, I'm on board, or no, I'm not. And so I'm really grateful for the two members that are no longer involved, that they were so quick to say, you know what, I signed up to do this, or my circumstances have changed. And it just allowed me to very quickly get everybody in the rehearsal room and start working on a new text.
But I think there's something to be said that whatever percentage it is, 95% of the cast, 95% of the cast has remained for this particular production. So I hope you take that as a good thing.
I really do, yeah. It's a really wonderful environment, actually. There's a lot of collaboration. We're having a wonderful time in rehearsals. I'm learning how to relinquish a little bit of control and collaborate a little bit more, and I think it's been a really wonderful thing for me to do, because I've never directed a Shakespeare before. I've never intended to direct a Shakespeare before. I love Shakespeare. So the stars kind of had to align for me to take on something like this, and I feel really lucky. And I think, you know, months, years from now, I'll be really glad that I put my hand up and said, I'll give it a go, let's see.
Tell me about the concepts. It's Shakespearean text.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about the setting.
Yeah, so I was thinking about the members of my cast and what I knew of them, which I didn't know all of them, but I knew that we had some musicians amongst the cast, which really kind of helped frame my thinking in staging it. So we've set the Taming of the Shrew in Baptista's recording label, which means that both Katherine and Bianca are under contract under the record label that Baptista is running, and that all my musicians, including the players, do actually play music. And we have a wonderful cast member, Macy Lawson, who has given us a couple of her singles that we're going to be using for the play. We have Rodney Havratin, who is playing violin. I have Reese Young on the clarinet, and Hannah Hyde, who's playing bass. So we've got some singers as well. So we're just using what we have available to us and really having fun with jamming. That's what this feels like. It feels like a big jamming session where everybody gets to have their input, but within my framework.
So it was quite organic then to have the two sisters be rival musicians. Yeah.
Rival musicians, yeah. So we've got the pop diva, the pop princess, and we have the rock legend. I just could see it in my mind. I would just say that we've got a wonderful costumier, Sue, who you may have already heard from,
Indeed.
Who stayed on board with the production, and I'm so grateful. That was another thing that really helped me frame how we were going to approach this. The costumes are vibrant and fun and engaging and are really essential to our characters, along with some props that we have that are a bit fun. And Richard Parkhill as well, who's doing the lighting design. And we've got some newcomers such as Tahit, who's assisting with stage management. And it's just a really great opportunity to have people trying things backstage in theatre who've never had the opportunity or thought before to get involved. 𝒯𝒃𝓂𝒃𝓂𝒾𝓃, who is doing the set design, and I'm so grateful. I think this cast is going above and beyond to deliver a really fantastic show for you. It's fun. Bring your friends, buy some tickets. Let's have some fun with Shakespeare.
Olivia got called back into the theatre because we were running out of time, and the very last part of her interview got cut off. But she did also thank Angela Short and Matt Chapman for their assistance on this production as well. She is so grateful, as we all are, for their guidance and their support, and also to Bonnie McAllister for her excellent graphic design.
I want to ask you the same question I ask everybody who does this podcast when I host it. Why is community theatre so important in this city?
I mean, for me, I think that community theatre is so important because it's the first place where I felt seen, whether it be working backstage or in-house, front of house, as a cast member or as a director. You meet really wonderful, engaging people who are creative and have all these skills and wonderful life experiences, and it's become a home for me.
We'll leave it there. Thank you, Olivia, so much for your time.
Thank you, Annabelle.
Yes, thank you to Olivia and to Sue and to Heather and Tom for chatting with me on this podcast today. Thank you to all the members of the crew and cast of Taming of the Shrew for giving up their time to talk to me, and thank you, to listener, for joining me on this podcast. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please contact us. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your favourite podcast platform and leave a review. There are other ways to support theatre in South Australia. Maybe go to Tassone online and see what's on, and then purchase a ticket to a show. Perhaps become a member or subscriber of your local theatre company. If you'd like to volunteer for a local theatre company, please reach out to us. The email address again is fortheloveoftheatrePodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. There are a myriad of roles, including front of house, backstage crew, set building, costumes, lighting operators, sound operators, lighting designers, sound designers, properties, marketing content. The list goes on. Theatre is for everybody, so we will find the right fit for you. I'd also like to encourage every listener today to become a member of TASA, the Theatre Association of South Australia. It's totally free to subscribe, and you'll receive a monthly edition of Encore, the online magazine, in addition to your regular What's On emails with the company events and auditions and What's On in Adelaide today. You can access their latest reviews across community theatre companies in this wonderful state of ours. And so for more information on that, head to tasaonline.org.au. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of For the Love of Theatre podcast. Until next time, get your tickets while you can. Remember, all the world's a stage.